People talk, but they don't really say what they mean. Martin, 1978. Urban vampire film. Now this is the George A. Romero film. Requested by a fellow YouTuber. This is one I've been wanting to see. Hasn't really been on YouTube in years. He pointed out that it was finally there. So I finally got a chance to check it out. And it's got the classic independent low budget 70s type of atmosphere, but
like no background music and
but no
drawn out
it
scenes.
doesn't have good background music like a lot of 70s a lot of 70s horror do, except for the early 70s where it'll be like hippie horror. But anyways, this was late 70s, but they don't do disco.
To get into the story though,
like I said, our lead character, Martin, an 84-year-old vampire who really doesn't age. It's part of a kindred curse where he needs a bloodlust to survive. He uses methods of hypodermic needles process to extract blood. He's a real imbecilic bastard.
It's really a lot of filler to get to those
scenes.
Where he's actually using
He's aloof, self-critical, and has a lot of angst towards the rule. And
he never made sexy time with a girl. If you watch the movie, you know what I'm talking about.
And it's kind of odd. You know what it really feels like? Scream Bloody Murder 1973, if you've ever seen that.
I haven't seen it.
There's a character, the main character, who's the villain. He's kind of like psycho and has bouts of delirium, kind of like Martin.
Okay.
His name's Matthew instead of Martin. But anyway, that's all extraneous. Back to the point. He moves into a small town in the suburbs of Pittsburgh, apparently. And Tom Savini...
Starts, like, delivering stuff for his dad.
It's his uncle.
Oh, his uncle.
He's a superstitious coot who owns his own small grocery store, butchery in town. And he's the Van Helsing type.
He knows that he's a vampire.
For every vampire, there has to be a vampire slayer.
Oh, it's so true.
And this is actually probably like our second time reviewing a vampire movie. The only other time I did it was Dark Shadows, House of Dark Shadows movie. And so back more towards the story. So basically, it goes through a whole bunch of nothing, really. He moves to this small town, and he finally tries to get laid for the first time.
Yeah, he starts selling goods just door to door, and then
he's got that lustful urge.
He's thinking, should I kill this person and eat him? No, I shouldn't. It's like so retired because it's like his internal monologue.
And like I was saying, he had so much angst. If he was in the 21st century, they'd call him an emo.
And when all the first things happen, like the first kills or whatever, I didn't even see it. It was so dark. It was almost nothing.
Yeah, typical 70s. They don't reveal that much in the air. Even though there was Tom Savini in this, the first time he ever hooked up with George A. Romero.
Jumps all around like 70s style, all retarded. So you can't even really
jumps all around to a whole bunch of nothing, including his black and white flashbacks of his past life, or because he's 84, and so he'll just have bouts of those suppression dreams coming back into his mind, and it's a whole bunch of nothing to the audience.
It really is. I feel like I wasted my life watching this movie.
Oh, you did, but hey, what the hell?
Hey, you know what am I gonna do anyways?
He gets laid finally by one of the matrons in town, and hold up, there's also this other subplot where he kind of calls the radio station and kind of dispels some of the myths of vampires and kind of lays it out, and he's a real hit on the airwaves.
That's an interesting subplot, but other than that,
let's get more to the ending now. I pretty much give it a C-. I'm going to get into spoilers now, so if you haven't seen it, you could check it out on YouTube.
What an idiot. I give it a D.
So he ends up getting the blood of a homeless guy in the alley, and he ends up almost getting in a rundown with the cops, and he ends up running into a drug house,
like an
And it's a
underground
shootout, like a crime movie.
speakeasy, and then he runs from there, and then it's a shootout with cops.
No, and then there's this black dude. He's a total '70s cliche character with a gun and a stogie in his mouth, and he's getting shot up.
The whole time while he's smoking the stogie in his mouth, shooting, and while he's dying, he's still got the stogie in his mouth. It's pretty funny.
And he's falling over dead with his stogie still in his mouth, with a cigar. And
it ends with a shootout, and he comes home.
Shut up! There's still more.
Yeah, I don't say nothing.
He ends up getting staked in the heart by his uncle.
Yeah, that's the only dope part. That's the ending.
But not before he joins a marching band down the road for no reason at all,
He's
just a filler scene.
Them just to get home, to get staked in the heart.
And according to Wikipedia, there's a 2-hour and 45-minute black and white version of this film, and George A. Romero claims to not even know
that
it exists.
Film is.
It's apparently a lost film now. The
But
full-length
But
version.
you know it's in someone's safe behind a picture.
But you know it would just be terrible and vapid to watch and sit
boring, and why would you even waste your time?
through. Which is just a synonym for vapid, which is why I want to punch you in the face right now.
But I'm talking.
Anyway,
for
Saturday
everybody
Night Horror Review. A New Nightmare from the director of Nightmare on the Living Dead. This was JBM and Helmet from Villain News. We're out.